So you briefly touched upon your books, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've written 2 novels. So what are these novels about? Because I'm looking at them right now and I'm like, ooh, I'm so interested.
Okay. The Boy in the House, a book against bullying. This book is about a boy named Milo who has a conversation with a house. And the reason he has a conversation with the house is because he's being relentlessly bullied at school. And he could no longer talk to his mother, although they used to have a pact that they could talk to each other. But Milo needed an outlet. And I won't tell why he can talk to the house or how he can talk to the house. But he has a conversation with the house, and the house begins to tell him and show him why having somebody else to talk to was very important, so that he can get this out of him, because his grades start suffering, he start being depressed, because we know in society today, children are going through this. This is really a bully society. So, I mean, we had a bully president, thank God he's no longer there, but a lot of children, and somehow this society kind of reinforces bullying when it says it doesn't, but it does. So this is really about helping children deal with their, the preteen and, going into adulthood, about how to deal with bullying. This book, in Making Breaking of the Ghetto Mind, absolutely came from God. Talks about us as Black people. Who are we as Black people? Why what you see right now is a facsimile of who we were supposed to be, where we come from. So this book talks about the mindset of man, first and foremost. The concept is the mindset of man. And if I have a rock or 2 rocks and you have a rock, why do I want your rock? And then why do I want to take your rock and then make you pay for the same rock that I just took? And why I need to debase you or degrade you in order for me to feel better about myself, in order to do the things that I need to do to you. So I need to dehumanize you. And this is exactly what's happened to us in this society. So we are no longer who we're supposed to be. When we talk about kings and queens, it's a great terminology, but I don't think that we really understand the legacy that we come from, the people that we come from, our history, where we really come from, and what that entails. Right now, it's just a story. It's a storyline. Mm-hmm. It sounds cute. Oh, my queen, my king. It's better than using the word nigga. It's better than that, because it's kind of changing the narrative in your head. But this book actually talks about what has happened to us, and what has happened, because it's chapter here on the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black baby. And what has happened to us, and why we are like this. But it's not only a book about problems, there's also a book in here, it's a chapter here about solutions, things that we should do. There's a program in here, there's a rite of passage pledge. There's also a rite of passage ceremony that we should take our children through, similar to what the Jewish people do when they have their bar mitzvahs for children, or some Hispanic females, I think it's 16, they have
15, the quinceañera.
Quinceañera, yeah. So we need to get our ceremonies back. We need to get our historical roots back at its deepest level, and stop this, because it's just a story to us. So this book is about how do we reconnect to that, to understand, especially with the Black woman, because if you look on the cover, it's the Black woman that's cutting the strings. She has a scissor in her hand. And it's through the Black woman that we're going to get our family back. And the Black woman is being attacked more than anything right now. I mean, the attack on the Black woman is so subtle, but it's so direct, it's crazy. If you go to Instagram, you just hit search, about 8 out of 10 pictures, the Black woman is naked. How did she get naked like that? How did she take off her clothes like so easily? Mm-hmm. And it's by design. It's not by mistake. It's by design. And people are like, oh, it's over. It's not over, because the attack is what they call neo-colonialism. That the colonizers don't need to actually be there anymore. But as long as their ideas is there, as long as they still can influence us mentally, they got us. So that's why this book was written. So these are the 2 things. To always try to put something out there as far as education, to make people aware of what's going on and what they can do about it, as opposed to just, saying this terminology, oh, my queen, my king. Nah, it's a little deeper than that.
So it sounds like you are extremely passionate about, helping the community and putting back into the community. Mm-hmm. Because your book focuses on not necessarily giving the manual, but giving tips and tricks on how we can maneuver the world, right? And your game focuses on, the reality of life, the it may not be all good and it may not be all bad, but these are real things that we hope you don't have to deal with, but maybe you have to come across it.
Mm-hmm.
So community support is very important. So how do you support your community?
In a number of ways. One, I for the Democratic Club in Harlem, I also DJ. I do their functions for them. I also have gone to schools when they needed, like they have career days and different things like that. I've gone to schools and I've actually donated the books. I've had people from Instagram sponsor a book so that they can be given to children, where I didn't take any money, where in fact, when they bought a book, I gave it to them at cost. So there was no profit in it for me at all. Because sometimes, people are like, well, do this and this. There was no profit in it for me at all. I just said to the HBUC community that kind of put my game on their platform, that if one of the persons from the colleges bought a game, that I will be willing to donate some of the proceeds to start a scholarship. See, it's not all about, we need money, but I'm not all about the money, because I'm okay. My passion doesn't come from things. I've had things, but most of my life I didn't have anything. So I know how to live without anything, because I know that the importance of who I am and what I am don't come from things. I used to associate myself with things. Oh, I need a Rolex watch, but I had it and I sold it because I had it for the wrong reason. I had it because I wanted the attention that it would get me, and I was using that as a lure, like a little bait on the hook. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, like, that's who you are? So I had to question my own integrity about what's going on, and I'm like, nah, I don't need that. So everything that I'm doing right now, of course, you need money to do other things, and I have other projects in the work that I've actually are working on, but I need money to put them out there because it's expensive. I designed a African American cultural heritage symbol. It's 7 symbols, and I think it's really appropriate for our specifically African Americans, because it talks about our journey in America. In the Irish community, they have something called a claddagh ring, if I'm pronouncing it right. The 2 hands, heart, and the crown. Almost every Irish person I know has this ring. It's supposed to be a friendship ring. So I was like, well, if they can have something, we can have something. So I designed this symbol, and I actually had the wax mold made. I actually have a copy of what it looks like and everything, but it's expensive because it's handmade. Every piece that I had made was like $700.
Oh wow!
And that's just the piece. That's not even the chain. The chain was like $1,300. So you're talking about $2,000 just to make it. And I need to be able to scale it down a little bit for those who don't have that kind of money, but also wants the symbol. Mm-hmm. And I need to find a way that I can get it manufactured where it don't have to be all handmade. So, those are future products, but this is basically what it's about.
Now, people often forget the most important part of our interview process. Mm-hmm. Where can we find you?
Well, I'm at a couple of places. On Instagram, it's the Reality of Life board game. One of my other businesses, what we'll talk about later, is the King of Reglazing on Instagram as well. I'm always available. I live in Harlem, born and raised. And anybody need to contact me, they can go to the Game of Life board game at Gmail, 0966 at Gmail. The Game of Life 0966 at Gmail. That's the Gmail for the game. And pretty much that's all you need to do to find me. I'm not hard to find.
So thank you again for letting me interview you. I cannot wait to see what you have next, what other books are coming out, hopefully soon.
Yes.
So if you guys like this video, make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe. If you have anyone you feel needs to be interviewed, drop it in the comments below. So this is Mr. Fine, signing off.
Thank you.
I'm shining. I'm shining. I'm shining. I'm shining. I'm shining. I'm shining. I'm shining.